Hey, is this thing on? It's now. It's Martin! Over a dad joke. Over a pipe, it's Martin. And Cliff, howdy, sir. Howdy to the both of you. By the way, happy Veterans Day to one and all veterans. Thank you, Cliff. I appreciate that. Now, I'm going to hold off a little bit before I get into the funny story. But it's a story that if you've ever lived really far north, you're going to really, really more or less enjoy this story. Oh yeah, you like the Opus X hat? It's a Fuente. Howdy, Sharon. How are you doing today? Now, if any of y'all were on last night's show with the Nashville Mafia, you probably heard me say, I was going to tell a funny story today. And I am. By the way, this is an Oliva G. Toro. Oh, not a problem, Sharon. Always happy to have y'all here. Hopefully Paul is doing well. If not, step on his foot. No, don't do that. Only for dinner steers at my league. I'm trying to think exactly. Nashville, hello. How's it going, Willie? So, anyways, yes, if you missed out on the fun and hilariousness that is the Nashville Mafia live show, you've been missing out. Good time to think about talking to Willie over here, also known as the volunteer piper. Let's see, what did we talk about? The three main things that I remember talking about: the brown note, insects, and turning off the lights. That should leave a good enough teaser. What do you think, Willie? Howdy, Paul. Great to see you, sir. And Jeff, Ohio Piper, great to see you. All right, so Willie, I know you tuned in before you're leaving work just so that you could hear this story. I'm going to make it as quick as I can. Guy I used to work with We're going to call him Joe. That's actually what his name was. First name, anyways. He lived up in Minnesota. Minnesota has what's known as sugar ants. And the way you kill a sugar ant mound is you reach into the sugar ant mound and you dig around and you find the queen, you squish the queen, and the sugar ant mound dies. And this is the way things went for him for many, many years. And then the company that he and I worked for moved him down to the Dallas area, where we have fire ants. And he didn't know. And he reached into a fire ant mound, and they came boiling up his arm. And they got plenty high up his arm, and then they decided to, every one of them decides to bite at the exact same moment. This is according to him. And for about 3 weeks following, he had Popeye arm because it was swollen. Willie, I hope that story was a funny enough insect story for you. And yes, sugar ants do make a mound exactly the same as a fire ant mound. And my wife, who lived in Michigan, she knows what sugar ants are. And as soon as I reminded her that the sugar ant mound looks exactly like a fire ant mound, she says, I don't even want to know anymore. She already knew it was coming. But yes, be aware of your insects in your environment, because they don't care down here in Texas. If it can sting you, bite you, or poison you, it will do its damnedest to make sure you hate life. And sometimes they just drown you out, like the cicadas that we had all summer. Luckily it gets cold-ish and they go back underground and they leave you alone. So cicadas are no big deal. So Willie, think about that as you go have dinner with your son, because that should be awesome. You're thinking about how you could get bit by 1,000 ants all at once. That would do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, it is getting a little chilly out today. I think the temperature here in Houston has been falling off all day, a little bit at a time. Woke up, it was quite comfortable. Actually, went to bed, it was quite warm. When I woke up, it was comfortable. And now it's starting to get to that, it's starting to feel a little chilly. Not too bad. And here in a little while, I'm going to have to turn on the damn lights. Because, you know, distracted light stupidity time, or whatever it is. Wish they could just quit doing this. Paul, there is no way in hell anybody wants to catch enough fire ants to actually eat them. They don't do anything but bite the hell out of you. And even cooked, I'm afraid they might still decide to come back to life and bite the hell out of you. Huva Ilta, Boris. Great to see you, sir. There are very, very few things that I'm actually afraid of eating. There's stuff I don't like to eat because I don't like the flavor or the texture. I mean, okay, it's fine. I can admit that. I mean, if I'm hungry enough, I'd still eat it. I think I've proven that I actually do enjoy some good hot pepper. We saw my head turn as red as this hat once. I enjoyed it. It's kind of like police grade breath freshener. Just feel the burn. Yeah, I mean, it can't be as bad as that time when I saw Martin eating a spider, and I was laughing so hard that I was damn near crying. Or when I saw him eat like one cricket, or maybe it was two. Paul, I'm going to tell you right now. Sharon says she's got a friend that or relative that will eat those death nuts, and I like hot peppers. Sure, no problem. I really, really, there's not a pepper out there that I won't eat. I've had the Carolina Reaper. I've had the habaneros. I've had all the hot ones. All those major league, oh my God, hot ones. Death Nuts was something else entirely. Not fun. Martin does not recall any spider. Well, that's because his one can of pop with his severely watered down liqueur that he added in to call it a car bomb got him drunk. Don't worry, I watched James Stumbo. We saw how you produce your breed of alcohol so that you can stay on air and act the goofball. We know. Now we know. James outed you live last Tuesday. Oh. Of course, he sent you Cubans. And if either Martin or Derek does not want the Cubans, I'm going to suggest where to send them, because someone who actually knows what they are and will appreciate them, yeah, no big deal. So James, did you get to hear about the sugar ants? By the way, howdy. Right, yeah. I mean, I tried to be nice to James when I tuned in kind of late, and they were asking some questions, and I got one question right, and he said, give me his address, or give him my address. So I gave him my address, and he said, what do you want for a tin of tobacco? Any tin, whatever. And I said, well, damn, I saw how he had made the num-nums. And I decided, you know what? That's what I'll do. I'll ask for a sample of the num-nums. I did good. I don't care what y'all think. If you haven't had num-nums, y'all are missing out. Uh-oh, James did not hear about the sugar ants. Alright, so James, in Montana, there is what's known as sugar ants, and they make a mound almost exactly like a fire ant mound. And my boss, who lived up in Montana for most of his life, when his job moved him down to Dallas, he thought that those mounds out in the yard were sugar ants. And the way you kill sugar ants is you just reach into the mound with your hand, you dig around in there until you find the queen, you squish the queen, and the sugar ant mound dies. But if you do that to a fire ant mound, they're going to boil up out of the ground, latch onto your arm, and go to biting all at the same time. And then your arm's going to swell up like Popeye. Yeah, that's what happened to him. He says that he went to the hospital. I'm not going to deny him that fact. I think if you got bit by enough fire ants all at once, you might actually want to go to the hospital. Oh, no. I cannot sound like Dale from King of the Hill because two reasons. One, I do not live that close to the Dallas Cowboys. Thank God. And something tells me that I like to cook with things that do not involve propane and propane accessories. So therefore, I would probably end up pissing off my best friend Hank. Dale Dribble, come on now. You can't go there. Come on, man. Let's go, Brandon. Hey, if one can use come on, man, then the other can use let's go, Brandon, right? I just think it's cool that all those people in America are out there cheering for my nephew. What do you mean that's what Dale does? I guess I don't watch King of the Hill. Quite honestly, I don't actually watch all that much TV. I mean, sports. But there's actually sports on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. You just have to know what channel or be subscribed to whichever channel to actually get them. And I am not really interested in a lot of replay games where you're checking the description and they automatically tell you who already won. Thanks, ESPN. I just love that. Only about, 12 to 15 ESPN channels? And they'll put on something like girls beach volleyball. Women's USA team wins 3-2. Well, then what am I supposed to do? I already know who's going to win. There's no point in watching it now. Damn it. Howdy, Mike. Great to see you, sir. Now, Mike would know what a sugar ant is. I'm pretty sure Mike has had sugar ants in Canada. Mike, in Canada, if you have sugar ants, from what I'm told, you reach into a sugar ant mound, you dig around, you find the queen, you squish it, and the sugar ant mound dies and goes away. James, that's why I didn't even turn on the TV today. I'm afraid I would end up breaking something. Mike, I might not be watching girls beach volleyball for the score, but I do not want to know who won beforehand. And so you think sugar ants require warm weather, but they are prevalent up in Montana. So I think they require a good, well, they don't freeze out like fire ants would. Not a problem, Willie. If you are not back in time, which if it takes longer than an hour, you won't be back in time. Because I've got a feeling we'll be over on Mike's channel. Howdy, Steph. Great to see you, ma'am. Well, Mike, I would turn off the sound, but it doesn't help because I'm blind. I mean, I can't even read the words on my screen. They're not that far. I walk into the eye doctor and I say, E, I know which one that one is. I'm not sure if I can read it clear or I just know it. Hey, it's like walking in and saying, oh, I'm going to go get some shots today. And then you get back there with some cute little nurse and you say, oh, but I'm afraid of needles. Maybe it's the other arm I'm afraid of needles. Oh, well, about the same time they see that many tattoos, they're going, yeah, you're not afraid of needles, asshole. I know I'm not afraid of needles. My wife might be afraid of needles. Thank you. I appreciate y'all thinking that I look better without the glasses. James, I am not sure that they are the little black ones in Walla Walla, but if they make a mound that's exactly like a fire ant mound, then yes, that would be the ones that I was told are sugar ants that are not only in Australia. Even though Mike tells me that they're only in Australia, so I'm going to agree with Mike. They're only in Australia. I don't know what kind of ants they are. But there's some ants up there in Montana, Minnesota area. One of those M states, way north of here. You know what? I think it might be Minnesota, not Montana. He did happen to be a big fan of one of Boris's favorite teams. Just say it. Hey, Cliff, you ain't got to tell me, brother. I live way too close to the ocean to ever trust that Mike is not going to send the Canadian Kraken to rearrange my neighborhood. Yeah, but Cliff, you know, because I don't really go anywhere, they have to come here. And if they don't get me during the winter, I can just wait until summer and watch them melt right out there on the sidewalk. I might not know people, but I know Mother Nature. And if you wait around long enough, you're either going to get some kind of rainstorm that's going to wash you down the drain, or you're going to get burnt to a crisp out there waiting for me. Well, I'm not even sure what kind of ants they are. Well, they might be pharaoh ants then. I mean, if they're pharaoh ants, I could... As long as it's an ant that builds a mound quite similar to a fire ant mound. One is completely harmless. You dig around, you grab hold of the queen, you squish it, you're good. The other one is fire ants. You dig around in that mound, they destroy you. Just say it. Well, I know what a carpenter ant looks like, and I'm fairly certain that Joe knew what a carpenter ant was. Paul, in some locations, termites do build mounds. Here in the Houston area, they tend to just dig underground and tunnel. Which is why you always got to check around your house at springtime when they sometimes will swarm. And you spray insecticides heavily at that time of year just to make sure that they don't attack your house. Yeah, Mike, how many Asekian pipes have been sold? Probably all of them. Probably all of them, Cliff. This is a damn good looking pipe. Gotta admit. Saws and hammers. Come on, Mike. Yes, borax soap does work well on ants. And those big-ass roaches, the tree roaches that tend to be down here in the Houston area, that also has an effect. And if I remember right, fleas and ticks also. So if you have pets and you go get a box of the borax and you sprinkle it through your carpet and then you vacuum it up, but you don't want to use something with the suction of a Dyson or one of those carpet ninjas or whatever. What's the other one? Shark. The reason I call it a carpet ninja is because Shark and Ninja are somehow owned by the same company now. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So the question is, how many of y'all can get together with yourselves and you can create about 5 or 6 fraudulent YouTube accounts so that on December the 22nd, we can fill up the Nashville Mafia chat room. Seems like people only want to show up for giveaways. Or when people are in paint. I mean, I had one of my highest ever counts when Mike was giving away a pipe on my channel. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. And when I was eating death nuts. Freaking awesome. No, not Bissell or Filter Queen. It's the Shark vacuum. Shark and Ninja, and what's that old-fashioned one? Kirby, I think it was. It cost like $4 grand. It's ridiculous. Heavy as hell. Will suck concrete through your carpet. You don't want to use a vacuum that's got that much power if you're going to sprinkle borax into your carpet. You want to leave just a little bit in there so that it will actually attach itself to the ants, fleas, ticks, whatever small bugs. It'll also do well against dust mites. Oh, good Lord. Okay, so y'all heard it here first, or maybe not first, but y'all heard it here. Jose Cavendish is in the hospital getting surgery on his appendix. Yeah, that I am hoping that Chilean hospitals are up to the task and that nothing bad like COVID gets a hold of him while he's there. Alright, so James is covering Jose's live on Sunday. Okay. Don't worry, James. If we're supposed to keep it quiet, it's not like there's a whole ton of people here to hear about it. People just love my channel. They love to pass it right on by. They love to act like it's not there. It's all right. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that shows up. One real quick thing, I am going to run right through that door and turn on a light. It's getting dark out here. Sorry about the hellacious glare. That's why normally in wintertime you'll see me turn the chair around and we will see the house across the street. That way the glare is only affecting me. I apologize for that this time. I will remember it for next time and we will get this straightened out. You know what? I've got time. Yeah, it's not like I can't just turn my little setup. Figure out a position where the light works well for y'all, and there we go. How about that? We can watch as the sun sets, basically. Of course, y'all are looking towards the almost directly east at present. Slightly to the north, but mostly east, so it'll be dark quickly. Howdy, Steve. Great to see you, sir. Yes, that's right. I'll see you. No audio? Did I lose audio? In case you're wondering, I was mouthing, my lips move, but you can't hear what I'm saying. Oh, Mike found the mute button. It's probably the best volume to listen to me at. Makes much more sense if you just fill in your own words. Bad lip reading. Howdy said, great to see you, sir. It's not my fault that you're not getting your work done, James. Just remember, have a scar. Especially if you're going to light up right there in the office. Oh, yeah. I can just imagine the people in Washington having a conniption. I mean, you're in a state that they'll legalize weed, but they won't allow people to ship tobacco. Don't blame me for pointing that one out. By the way, still shaving. Day, I forget what day this is. We're going to go right through to December 31st. Then I'm going to see about growing, well, of course, I get a job and they say that it's required to shave, then it's shaved. Of course, some of my tailgates might be more or less put on hold due to timing. But I'm not getting sliced up, so I'm doing pretty good with the razor there, Mike. I appreciate the razor. I am on the second blade of the pack that I bought. I change every Monday. Yeah, James. That's pretty yeah. I just don't know where to go with that, James. Vaccine mandates. In no way, shape, or form can the government, in my opinion, give carte blanche to Big Pharma to produce a medical trial and force all of America to participate. I don't see everybody else running out and getting the vaccine for anthrax, but I know I got mine. Guess they don't want to compete with that one, huh? And Cliff, screwing with Eddie Gray because he sells a tobacco product. I'm wondering if Eddie Gray was to get some of those Missouri meerschaums that are made for weed. They actually make a Missouri meerschaum for weed. It's drilled on the side for a carb. You can look them up. I saw them and was like, what the hell? And then I realized what it was for, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. James, last time I was in California, a cop pulled me over because I was smoking a cigar in a vehicle. Yeah. I don't want to go back. Land of fruits and nuts. Those that aren't fruits are just plain nuts. Now, Cliff, I'm not telling anybody to not get the vaccine. No. If you want to get the vaccine, get the vaccine. I mean, it's fine. But you got to remember, it is not stopping the disease from being on you or from you contracting it. And it is not stopping you from spreading it. So, the whole wear a mask, wash your hands, and all of that stuff, even if you got the vaccine, you should probably still be doing it if you're thinking, hey, I'm trying to do this for other people. Me, I have psoriasis. Because I have psoriasis, which is just a skin condition brought about by an overactive immune system, which means I could probably contract COVID, which feels a lot like the flu, and I'm not going to know that I'm even hardly sick. If I get the vaccine, I wouldn't know I was sick at all. But my wife's family has some issues with the vaccine. Namely, some of the people that got it are turning up dead within a couple of days. And I'm not risking my wife for any kind of government mandate. God, family, country in this situation. And by God, it'll be my family first before my country. So that's pretty much where it stands on my end. See, Cliff, I don't know what to tell you about any kind of COVID, anything. It's just, and said, that's a very good statement there. I don't do mandates. I date women. I like it. James, you're preaching to me, and that's basically the choir, brother. I feel the same exact way. If the courts give you a stay of execution and the highest person in charge of that execution says, screw it, execute him anyways. Well, you know the next person in the death chamber is the guy who said, screw it, execute him anyways. Hey. There are checks and balances in this system that we call America, and everybody else has got to play by the rules. funny how certain government officials are just saying, to hell with that. But like I said, I'm not against the vaccine. But I am for speaking the truth about the vaccine, where it's the first vaccine in history that's not actually treating the virus, but rather treating the symptoms of the virus. So really, it's not treating the virus at all, it's just treating the symptoms, which means it's not really a vaccine. I mean, the polio vaccine, it gives your body the antibodies that actually will kill the polio disease, virus, amoebas, whatever the heck that is. Some vaccines are very good. But if they come up with a vaccine that says I can thereby not contract it and not spread it, I'm going to be first in line and probably whooping people to get to the first in line. I'm all for getting rid of this crap. But as long as people who've gotten the shot are still ending up in the hospital for it, that doesn't make the vaccine any more, in my mind, effective than just doing what you need to do on your own to eliminate the need for the vaccine and the virus anyhow. James, I'm not sure what triple taxes you're getting, but that sucks. And I agree with Cliff. Taxation, no representation. Wars were fought for such things. And then, of course, there was some really caffeinated fishes in a certain harbor in Boston. Tea is kind of high in caffeine. Well, James, here's the funny part about nukes and tanks. The United States government cannot use nukes and tanks against their own citizens. Partly because most of those citizens have families. So they go rolling tanks into Texas. Who do you think's operating about half of those tanks? Not going to work too well when those tanks decide we're not going and attacking mom. I don't care what the captain says. I don't care what the general says. I'm not going in and annihilating my family. Piper said you are correct. The polio vaccine does not mutate on the level that COVID does, which is part of the reason why people are saying that it is more than likely biologically engineered. Yeah, well, James, quite honestly, last time it was a government seat in power that was much closer to France. so their help was appreciated. This time, that government seat is only kind of close to Canada and Mexico, sort of, remotely. So yeah, it will basically be, if it comes down to anything, it'll be Americans having to fight Americans. And well, James, if they purge the military completely, they won't have enough military to come back after the citizens. And howdy, Todd. Great to see you, sir. And quite honestly, if the United States military decided to kick everybody from Texas out, you could pretty much guarantee that Texas would immediately file to secede from the Union. And, well, I don't think it would go very well. Because there'd be a lot of people that would say, like some famous guy from Tennessee once said, y'all can all go to hell. As for me, I'm going to Texas. They'll be saying it for different reasons, but I got a feeling there'd be a lot of people making the exodus to Texas as soon as they could if they heard that Texas was leaving the Union. Woo, Paul, that is rough. There it is, people willing to work with or without the vaccine, and because Parliament decides to make it a law, half of those people have to go home because they no longer have a job. You thought they were stretched thin before? How about those people who have to wait for EMTs? Well, I'm not sure what y'all call them in England, but EMTs, emergency medical service, or emergency medical technicians. You know, the ambulance. But I've heard some horror stories coming out of England saying that 3, 4, 5 hours that people have had to wait is starting to become kind of normal. I mean, let's see here. When seconds count, help is just hours away. If that's your motto, you're stupid. Steve, I could guarantee that statement to be actually 100% accurate. Average Joe Blow United States citizen, for the most part, should not know. And for the second part, does not need to know. And for the third part, is not prepared to know. You want to see how crazy it is. Those people who do know, like Congress, they go and they write a rule book that the enemy reads the rule book and laughs. These are the rules of war, that we are going to fight this war, and these are going to be our rules. And if any of our side breaks those rules, we will throw them in jail permanently or kill them. Need to know the truth of that? Read the book Lone Survivor by Marcus Luttrell. Good book, by the way. Good book. Love the book. Read it 3 times. Met the guy. And then go over and read American Sniper. You know what? Met that guy too. And then go read 93 Confirmed Kills. That'd be the story of Carlos Hathcock. You know what? Met that guy too, strangely enough. So it wasn't just recently. Some of this stuff's been going on back in like Vietnam, and probably well before that. They write a set of rules, and the side that we're facing off against reads those rules and laughs, and then goes out and exploits the hell out of it. To the detriment of thousands and thousands of American troops. My theory, you want to fight a war? Okay, let's fight a war. But let's be so brutal that nobody on the planet wants to have anything to do with another war with America ever again. I would love to end all wars, but I think that's the only way that you're ever going to do it. Be so brutal, so evil, that nobody on the planet will ever again want to have a war with that nation, because you know, you piss them off bad enough and they're going to say, fuck it, it's time to kill people. And of course, any other country that wants to go that route, I just hope that you don't choose to go up against America on that one, because, well, it'll be to the last man. And I believe one of the famous Japanese quotes was, "There will be a rifle behind every blade of grass." Getting to America is going to be mighty tough. Thank you, Thomas Jefferson, and those people that decided to fill the Second Amendment in as the second most important thing to ever become our Bill of Rights. I say second because they figured that freedom of speech, press, and religion was more important. So far, it's worked pretty good. We've got 30 minutes-ish. So, roll call. What are you smoking, and what are you smoking it in? My friends, I am smoking an Oliva Series G Toro. James, I'm pretty much right there on point with you on the mandatory service, not necessarily military. Some people are not going to be cut out for military service, but there's lots of other things that can be done. As simple little 2-year service. You turn 18 and you get to your summertime and you do that. And if you're going to be 19 before you graduate high school, or 20 if you've been held back twice, you do your summers, and then you do your year and a half that would still be left over. Larry's Blend in a Savinelli Paul for Piper said. Watch City Double Barrel in an Asikian Cliff Higgins. Way to go, sir. Jabes, if all they can do is file paperwork, that's still a service that they could be doing. Just a Factory Smokes Connecticut for Kilted Piper Steve. I like those Connecticut's, though. It is, in my opinion, it's one of the best cheap cigars on the market. That's why I tell people about the Factory Smokes on a regular basis. I remember bringing it into the store that I was working at, because all the other bundles of cigars were going up in price. Some $50 cigar for a bundle of cigars were like up near $100. I started telling people, look, you can spend your $100 and get this bundle of cigars, 20 in a bundle, or you can go over here and pay $5 more and you can get a whole box of these Alec Bradley Project 40s. It just doesn't make sense. If you're going to get a factory throw-out cigar, or you're going to get an actual good cigar for the same price. Or you can spend less than half and you can get a bundle of 25 cigars made by Drew Estates. Great cigar. Great cigar. Best cigar in the world? No. Don't get me lying to you. But I'll share with you how I sold a ton of them. Everybody who smokes cigars has this friend. Hey man, can I get a cigar from you? So you hand them a cigar, and they smoke like a third of it, and then they set it down, and they quit smoking it, and they leave it there, and they never go back to it. Now, if it is a Padron 1, that's $27 for a single cigar here in Texas. Prices and participation may vary depending upon your actual location globally. All right, Cliff, well, you take care on that ride home, brother, and we will see you soon, hopefully. If you're going to be longer than 30 minutes, we'll be over on Mike's channel. Yes, sir. You too, sir. Appreciate you showing up. But as I was saying, everybody who smokes cigars has that friend. Well, if you have the Drew Estates Factory smokes, it could be as cheap as $1.30 per stick. Not a problem, Cliff. You're welcome here anytime, brother. Now, at $1.30 a stick, it's also a good golf stick. Because who hasn't been out there on the links, hit that long drive, taken a step back to really admire and watch where it's going, and then realize that you just stomped on your stick. And you look down at the ground and you go, ah, damn. Because if it's a $10 stick, it might be still $8.37 left on it. But if it's a factory smoke, you're sitting there going like, okay, whatever. Drag the next one out and light it. It is not like $1.30 is going to hurt you if you're smoking cigars. The only way cheaper to go about smoking tobacco, quite honestly, is Largo. Ugh. Probably what I'll be winning from the Nashville Mafia December 22nd show. Really? Now you're going to show up? Cat call. Sorry, the cat wanted in. And I have to be a certain number of inches from the door, otherwise every time I open the door it's going to smell like cigar smoke inside the house. Then I got to listen to my mother-in-law gripe at me. I might be mean, but I'm not crazy. Oh, goodness. It is getting chilly out here. Unusually chilly for Houston. Though for those of you who live far north, not hardly chilly at all. You'd be loving this weather. And I am out in t-shirt and shorts. Yes, I can prove that they're shorts, but I don't feel like showing off my sexy legs. Sounds like Life Flight. There are 3 major areas around my house where Life Flight tends to head to. And all 3 of them take those helicopters directly over my damn house. So I hope that whoever might be injured is okay. So here we go. One from Twitter. I'm going to give a Twitter take. Greg Abbott is in on the court case that is pending upon judicial review, which is slowing down the mandate on the vaccine. For those that don't know, that's the governor of the state of Texas. He put it out there on Twitter that this is what the state of Texas is doing. And somebody decided it would be a bright idea to go in and say, oh, that's fine. Just tell us what the address is of any of these people, and we'll go get some dart guns and take care of the problem. Well, y'all, welcome to Texas. Before you start coming into Texas thinking that you're going to shoot dart guns or any other guns at law-abiding citizens, please, A, have your affairs in order, and most likely you'll only need a one-way ticket, because round trip you're probably not going to make. There's very few vaccines against high-velocity lead. And no offense, but someone goes shooting at me, and I'm probably shooting back. Best of luck to ya. Said, that is exactly it, and well said at that. Ink your social security number on your arm. Chances are you're not going to make it very far doing such things in the state of Texas, because I'm not the only one that feels that way. And last time I checked, there are approximately 13 firearms per person in the state of Texas. Conditions might be higher in certain locations. I'm not saying where certain locations might be, but it might be higher in certain locations. Gets down around the last little nub of this, and it starts getting a little harsh for me. I don't know if it's the shape or the specific tobacco. But this cigar is mighty good for the first 5.5 inches out of 6. So y'all call it how you see it. I'll still say it's a good cigar. Now my cat wants back out. Pick one. Ah, damn fool cat. Yes, it's the one named Trump. Huge personality. And his coat's coming back in from the lion cut we gave him. Beautiful cat. But when he first showed up, his hair was so horrible that he literally had a comb over that looked exactly like Trump's hairpiece, which is how he got his name. I don't care if you like number 45 or hate number 45. the cat was named because he reminded me of Trump's hairpiece, which is just awesome when you consider that that's how he got his name. And people that hate 45, they like that statement just as much as people who like Trump. If y'all are any of those that would hate that statement, well, I'm sorry for your luck. It's still my cat's name. Oh yeah, Steve, I have no questions that Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and New Mexico are all of the same mind that would say, yeah, you might get your little dart into me, but you'll be lucky if you can make it to the end of the street without being full of holes. It wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good at all. But hey, that was that guy's Twitter take. It wasn't my statement. It was somebody else's statement. They went out there and they put it out there. Oh yeah, we'll just shoot some people. Really? Did you just say that on Twitter? Huh? Dan, the Raiders gear is not on right now, and that's fine. Mostly because I have some friends that are New York Giants fans. And my team did lose to the New York Giants. And they are not alone in first place anymore, so I don't have so much to be exactly super proud about. And I do believe that Skip likes a red hat. But I was wearing my Howie Long shirt yesterday. So I'm still there. Yes, Steph, I'm still here. Actually, I will be washing most of my stuff shortly after tailgating and hanging out with Steph and Skip on Saturday. Which, hopefully, hey, we got about 15 minutes. Let's talk about what's coming up. Tonight, right after I get off, most of us already know, we'll be going over to Canada and hanging out with Mike. Always a good time. Highly suggested to watch that show. From there, goes into Friday. Friday, there's a lunch Google meetup. I've gotten to participate a few times, but not very much. And then, of course, there's me at 3 o'clock Central. Where I tailgate for the beginning of the Friday evening festivities, which is Yardism, Cane Rod Piper, and then, of course, Martin at Over a Pipe. 3 great shows that follow my lame ass. But I love those shows, so I have no problem being the opening number. And then, of course, there's, we go to Saturday, and Raphael has a Saturday morning college football show, which is an actual tailgate. I filled in for him last week because he had some stuff that he had to do, but I believe, because nobody's contacted me yet about doing it, that he will be doing it on Saturday. But if he can't, then I hope he contacts me soon so that I can do another Pick 6 show. Then right after me, so there's Raphael, and then I go on and tailgate, and then Steph and Skip. Oh, Steve, I hope you are not trying to pass a stone. Or if you are trying to pass a stone, I severely hope that it passes without you having to go to the hospital. There's a product that I use. It's a natural product, and I can get it at the grocery store, but I don't know if you can. It's called Stone Breaker, and it's in a little glass bottle, and you put a dropper worth in every glass of water you drink between now and that stone passing, and it seems to work well for me. If nothing else, I hope everything comes out okay. As someone who knows about kidney stones, I dearly hope you do not have one. Take care, brother, and we will see you soon, hopefully. Okay, so Sunday comes around, and if Steve is not trying to pass a kidney stone, he and Miss Kathy should be on. That'll be Sunday. And then right after Steve and Kathy is... Well, shoot, I missed a whole bunch of Saturday, didn't I? Wait, rewind. Let's go back to Saturday. I'm Chris and Allbriared Up, or I'm Just Chris and Allbriared Up both have shows on Saturday. Great time. Love to see y'all all there. Sometimes I can't be there, and I apologize. So Steve and Kathy will be on Sunday. I'm trying to do all of this just from straight up memory. And then, of course, there's Dingus McSwine II, who tailgates for Jose. Steve, the label is basically school bus yellowish orange, and it's got a little black dripper top, kind of like a basting thing. It works for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but if nothing else, take care and be well. Ugh. Hate kidney stones. Let's see. So there's Dingus McSwine II, which of course is James. He tailgates, for Jose Cavendish. Jose Cavendish is not going to be on, and I hear that James and Betty will be doing their show at his time, or maybe they are going to do a tailgate / and cover the Jose Jalapeno on a Stick, his time slot. Needless to say, there's a lot of shows. Oh my God, it's Charlie. Howdy, sir. How you doing? If you're really, really needing to know what times are which shows, get the Briar Report newsletter. Sign up. It's easy. You get one email. It happens either on Monday or Tuesday. Mine still shows up on Tuesday, so I think it's supposed to be on Mondays now that you get your email, but I keep getting mine on Tuesday. Whatever. And one that I haven't seen on the Briar Report as of yet is the Let My Cameron Go, who does a prayer meetup on Mondays. It's a pretty nice little time. Any of y'all who are thinking you might want some prayer or need some prayer, or you've got friends and family that might need prayer, pretty good little nice group. Wouldn't mind some more people. It's a great little time on Monday, just in case y'all are out there and needing to have a little more time with us. Which brings us down in the last 5 minutes. Let's see, what else do we got? Okay, so one last time I'll go through the sugar ants that are not sugar ants, because Mike has convinced me they're not sugar ants, but that's okay. They might be pharaoh ants. There's an ant type colony situation that lives in the Minnesota area. And they have an ant mound that looks surprisingly similar to fire ants. And in Minnesota, what you do is you reach into the ant mound, you dig around with your hand until you find the queen, you squish the queen, and the ant colony dies. Easy, no problem. Except for the fact that my at one point in time, my boss, who lived in Minnesota most of his life, he moved to Dallas, and he tried to do that with a fire ant mound, and ended up looking like Popeye because they swarmed him and got well up past his elbow, and all of them decided to bite him all at the same time. Yeah. Yes, I did tell that story a lot of times tonight. But I did say yesterday on Nashville Mafia that I would tell a funny insect story. And, well, to me it's funny. To me it's hilarious. First time I heard it, I was laughing so hard I literally was falling out of the chair. Moth. On my luck, it's probably one of those puff moths that's going to drop some caterpillar eggs that are going to hatch, turn into those little fuzzy things that are going to end up stinging the hell out of me and leaving me saying crazy things that Martin's then going to turn into a sound bite and add it to the Over a Pipe Friday show. Don't worry, Martin, I love it. I think all of those things that you've been trying to say that I've been saying or bleeping out so that it sounds like I'm saying something else, it's all hilarious to me. Yeah, well, Charlie, if you go reaching into a mound of fire ants, that's on you. I hope Neptune's there to drag you over to whatever kind of paramedics can be found to stop laughing at you for making such a horrendous mistake. By the way, I don't have my little tablet. So if anybody sees Mike come on, can y'all please let me know? He should be on by now. Whereas if I go and try to check it, I end up losing the stream and oh, Mike is on. All right. Paul, thank you for the suggestion that everybody hits the thumbs up button. Remember, as you go over to Mike's show, go ahead and hit that thumbs up on your way in. Don't wait until the way out. But if you don't do it on the way in, at least do it on your way out. Thank y'all all for being here. It's been my pleasure having y'all here. As per always, remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Let's do the best we can on that. And of course, as always, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.